Meeting of the Falmouth Planning Board to order. Today is October 28th, 2025. And it is 6:32. We are meeting at Falmouth Town Hall. My name is John Drewley, and I am the current chair of the Planning Board. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that this is a public meeting and is being conducted in accordance with the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law. Please take a moment to silence any mobile devices or electronics to avoid interruptions. Anyone wishing to speak should come to the podium, wait to be recognized by the chair, and state their name for the record before making remarks. We encourage respectful and constructive dialogue during public comment periods. Thank you. We'll now proceed to the first item on the agenda, which is public comment. Is there anyone here for a public comment? All right, seeing none. If anyone wishes to speak about something that's not on the agenda, please come to the podium and state your name, but we don't have anyone here to do that. So we'll start with the first item on our agenda this evening.
Minutes.
After public comments, we have minutes.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the October 14th, 2025 minutes as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have approval not required. Applicant Matthew Terry, Esquire, on behalf of New Cape Cod Country Club, Inc., Boxberry Hill, LLC, David Friel and Haureen Friel.
Good evening, members of the board. For the record, my name is Matthew Terry from the law firm of Ament Clower here in Falmouth. Here before you this evening for an approval not required plan. This is a perimeter plan, as is permitted under Section 81P of Chapter 40 of the Mass General Laws. The owner, New Cape Cod Country Club, Inc., along with a couple of affiliated entities, an LLC, and a few condo units owned in the individual name of David and Haureen Friel, have commissioned this perimeter plan. It does not show any new lot lines nor any change of ownership. Just simply a restatement of the existing property lines for the lots stated in the application. That's my presentation.
Presentation? Any questions? No? I just have a clarification maybe. It appears that all of these lots have already been recorded. Is there a reason why you're doing an approval not required then, if they're already recorded?
The preliminary plan.
I got it. I understand.
Yes, so the intent is not to record this plan, nor is the plan able to be recorded, given that most of the lots that are reflected on the plan are land court lots. This is simply a perimeter plan done to preserve the existing zoning that's in place as of the date of filing, which was October 16th.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we need a motion on this, Jed?
I move that we endorse the approval not required
I second it.
plan as presented to us without regard
I'm
to
seconding your
zoning.
motion.
I hadn't finished it.
Excuse me.
Without regard to zoning or buildability.
Thank you. You got a second? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You in favor?
Yes, aye.
Okay.
Second.
All right, unanimous.
Thank you.
All right, next we have public hearing, Cape Cod Aggregates Corporation, special permit application to construct a contractor's yard consisting of two proposed buildings, a 3,990 square foot building intended for contractor bays and a 5,400 square foot building to include a scale house, garage, and accessory office use at 0 Thomas B. Landers Road. And for the applicant?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. For the record, Kevin Clower. I am back before you tonight on this matter representing Cod Aggregates. There's really been no changes since our last hearing. I don't think there was anything the board was looking for us at the prior hearing. We had updated the plans, provided some additional information that had been requested from the engineering department, provided a lighting plan, we provided the site distance plans, and a response to the engineering referral. I think as we left things at the last hearing, we had asked Jed to draft a positive motion on both the site plan review and the special permit, but I would, of course, be happy to address any questions that you may have at this time.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, Tom, do you mind reading into the record of the...
I've got it.
I'm sorry?
No, I mean, it's not really a question about this, but it's a question. Should we do the site plan first or the special permit first?
So the next
matter.
item on the agenda is the hearing for the special permit. So I would suggest that you look to close that hearing, take public comment first, obviously, close the hearing, and then I would take that under this advisement and rule on the special permit first.
Okay, that's what I didn't know if there was any reasons to do one thing or another. Okay, so we have to close the hearing first before we, so I
Okay.
move that we close the hearing.
Second?
Need a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now we'll read,
Just for the record, and so everyone's aware, because this is a special permit, you have a 7-member board. You will need 5 members voting unanimously in order for the special permit to pass. And so I just wanted to make that clear for the record.
all right. Do you want us to vote the site plan review first?
No,
No.
you can go ahead with the special permit. Just wanted to make a note of that.
All right, thank you.
All set? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Paul, you have a question?
Okay.
I have 2 draft motions here that are different.
Correct.
Which
Your
one are we talking about?
First one,
I look at that.
Tom, just make sure you have the right one. The special permit,
Reading, I do. It's the one that was on top, right?
6.1. It's the one that only has, nope, it'll be this one. Do that one, yep.
All set? Okay. Motion that the planning board vote to approve the application of Cod Aggregates Corp. for a special permit under sections 240-6.1B of the zoning bylaw to allow for the construction of a contractor's yard with accessory office space at 0 Thomas Landers Road, map number 16010160000 and 1601016B000, with the following findings and conditions. Findings: the applicant is proposing to construct a contractor's yard with accessory office space, which is allowed by special permit under section 240-6.1B. As part of the contractor's yard, there are 2 proposed buildings: a 3,990 square foot structure containing 3 garage bays and a 5,400 square foot building, including 3,920 square feet of office space and 1,480 square feet for a contractor scale house and garage. A proposed access driveway of the west side of the property will lead to a 22-space parking lot located behind the proposed office building. Additionally, a gravel area is planned on the east side of the parking lot, wrapping around 2 sides of the garage bays. Parking requirements apply only to the 5,400 square foot main building, which includes office space, a garage, and a scale house. Based on the standard of 1 space per 250 square feet, a total of 22 parking spaces are required and have been shown on the plans. Findings specific to section 240-6.1B of the zoning bylaw. The planning board finds that, number 1, the 7.37 acre property is greater than the minimum 3 acres required in an AGA zoning district. Okay, page 2. And number 2, the front yard setback is 51 feet, which is greater than the minimum 50-foot distance required in an AGA zoning district. Number 3, A small portion of the property lies within the Water Resource Protection Overlay District. However, the proposed construction is located outside of this area. Number 4, the lot is not located within 300 feet of a single residence district or within 300 feet of an existing dwelling. Number 5, the activities including traffic between the subject properties at Thomas B. Landers Road will not have an adverse impact on the neighborhood, and the construction, width, and grades of adjacent streets are sufficient for safe travel to the site by the vehicles to be stored. Number 6, the type and number of vehicles and materials proposed to be stored on the site are appropriate. Number 7, the hours of operation for the contractor's yard will be 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, occasionally on Saturdays. Number 8, there is not any fabrication proposed on site. And number 9, the office space is accessory to the contractor's yard. Findings specific to Section 240-12.1 of the zoning bylaw. The planning board finds the application to be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of this chapter. The board considers the site adequate and suitable in terms of size for the proposed use, the impact on traffic flow and safety and neighborhood visual character will be mitigated as per the findings and conditions were herein. The method of sewage disposal, source of water and drainage, utilities, and other public services to be adequate as per the application and plans. And that the application will not have an effect on the supply of affordable housing in town. Conditions. The plan shall be constructed as approved. Any changes shall be reviewed by the planning board to determine if a modification of this decision is necessary. Page 3. The list, and number 2 on page 3, the list of equipment, vehicles, and materials storage to be allowed on site shall be as represented on the inventory list, entitled CCA Truck and Trailer List, that was submitted with the special permit application and attached hereto. Number 4, pursuant to Section 240-12.1L of the zoning bylaw, this special permit shall lapse 3 years from the date it is granted if a substantial use thereof has not sooner commenced, except for good cause shown, or in the case of a permit for construction, if the construction has not begun by that date, except for good cause shown.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Next, we'll have the public meeting for the Cape Cod Aggregate Corporation site plan review application to construct contractor's yard consisting of 2 proposed buildings, associated parking, a 3,990 square foot building intended for contractor bays, and a 5,400 square foot building to include a scale house, garage, and accessory office use at 0 Thomas B. Landers Road.
Okay, site plan review. Motion that the planning board votes to approve the application of Cape Cod Aggregates Corp. for a contractor's yard with accessory office space at 0 Thomas B. Landers Road, map number 1601, 01600, and 1601, 016B000, under Section 240-12.2 of the zoning bylaw, with the following findings and conditions. Findings. The applicant is proposing to construct a contractor's yard with accessory office space, which is allowed by special permit under Section 240-6.1B. As part of the contractor's yard, there are 2 proposed buildings: a 3,990 square foot structure containing 3 garage bays, and a 5,400 square foot building including 3,920 square feet of the office space and 1,480 square feet for a contractor scale house and garage. A proposed access driveway on the west side of the property will lead to a 22-space parking lot located behind the proposed building. Additionally, a gravel area is planned on the east side of the parking lot, wrapping around two sides of the garage bays. Parking requirements, page 2, apply only to the 5,400 square foot main building, which includes office space, a garage, and a scale house. Based on the standard of one space per 250 square feet, a total of 22 parking spaces are required and have been shown on the plans. A landscape plan and a lighting plan was submitted in accordance with Section 240-14.3B and Section 240-13.1B2, and the board finds that they generally comply the standards within those sections. The Town of Falmouth departments have reviewed and commented on the above-mentioned application, and the planning board finds that the applicant has adequately addressed the comments. The planning board's review does not include building code and zoning review, and the board defers that to the building commissioner. The board finds that the information provided by the applicant conforms to all the requirements of Section 240-12.2 of the zoning bylaw. Conditions, number 1, the plan shall be constructed as approved. Any changes shall be reviewed by the planning board to determine if a modification of this decision is necessary. Page 3. Number 2, the applicant shall obtain a stormwater management permit with the Falmouth Engineering Division. Number 3, any connections or alterations to public utilities would require permission from the appropriate town department. Number 4, construction of this project shall follow the town's soil, erosion, and sediment control standard conditions, document which can be found on the Engineering Division's page of the town's website. Number 5, any fences erected on the property will need to allow for adequate passage of small mammals and amphibians underneath. Any grading or retaining walls on the property shall not be greater than a 1 to 3 incline to allow for the passage of amphibians and small mammals. Block retaining walls alone cannot achieve this adequate passage. Number 6, the project shall meet all applicable standards set forth in the building code as determined by the building commissioner. Number 7, the applicant shall see the engineering division for address assignment for the new building prior to applying for a building permit. Upon completion of construction, the applicant shall post the address for this building per section 99-1 of the town code. Number 8, the applicant shall obtain an approved driveway permit and post any required bond with the engineering division before the start of construction. The applicant shall complete the work approved by the engineering division in the driveway permit. Number 9, pursuant to Section 240-12.2 of the zoning bylaw, this site plan review decision shall lapse 3 years from the date it is granted if substantial use thereof has not sooner commenced except for good cause. The determination of good cause shall be made by the planning board.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions?
I just hope we don't have any large amphibians to try to get under this fence.
Yeah.
If they do,
If we
they'll
do,
be-
we have bigger problems.
Yes, we do.
I'm in favor of it.
The Great Croc of Hatchville.
Thank you. Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time on this and for making this a very smooth process. We appreciate it greatly.
I only had, after we finish here, but I've had a couple people ask me why they didn't possibly add an apartment for maybe an employee or something at the site. Not that you have to answer,
Yeah,
but...
I don't have a great answer for that, John.
Okay.
I think the idea being that this was primarily a contractor's yard, And, there's going to be a lot of coming and going here. And obviously, for an employee, that might make some sense. And it's not to say they might not come back and revisit this and seek to modify this at some point in the future.
Thank you. You want to say
No,
something, Jim?
I just thought it was in the industrial park, then I realized it isn't.
Okay, next we have applicant TGR Realty LLC, site plan review application to approve a detached accessory dwelling unit at 33 John Parker Road.
I'm going to recuse myself from this.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, just for the record, at the last hearing, or at the last meeting, there were abutters, or there was an abutter who came to the podium and presented a letter to you. Included in your packet is that letter. In addition to that letter is a follow-up letter that we received from that same abutter. And included with that, in blue text, blue bold text, is the response that we put together as staff to the items that are outlined in the letter. I'm going to pass this over to Melinda to sort of articulate what was included in the letter and then what the response is.
All right, thank you.
So I'm just going to summarize it because it's pretty lengthy, but the first concern was the setback that's currently not encroaching, but the setback's too close to the property line.
Of the existing structure or the ADU?
The existing ADU structure. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
It's too close to the property line, it's less than 10 feet. And then our response to that is, according to 760 CMR, a municipality may not prohibit the development of a protected use ADU in an existing structure or principal dwelling or a lot due to nonconformities that could be used for or converted into a protected use ADU in conformance with the building code. So if it's already there, then it gets to stay there, is really what that
And both structures are already there?
Yes, and they're not doing anything to it. The next concern was about architectural design, and the response to that is that we can't set forth any design standards that you wouldn't typically set forth for a single-family house, so we can't have any design standards set for this. The next concern was occupancy violations and unit limits. There is no, because of the affordable, what was it called?
Homes Act.
The Affordable Homes Act, thanks. We no longer have owner occupancy needed or required in an ADU or in the primary dwelling, so that has been taken out of our bylaw and to conform with the state. The other one was the conversion of the ADU, and then the fact that the primary dwelling has 2 units in it. That's a separate issue, and that's not going to be addressed. All that's for us here in this one application is just for the protected use ADU. And so the other primary dwelling, the 2 units in it, if there are 2 units, if it's 1 unit, doesn't matter how many units are in the primary dwelling for the square footage calculation. So we use the whole structure for the calculation of the primary dwelling. And then there have been past zoning investigations on the property, and we have told them that they should talk to the building department about any enforcement or any past history with those violations.
They being the neighbors?
Yes, thank you. The abutter, yeah. Thank you. And that's pretty much sums it up. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you've summarized it really well. The only item, as you know, and we've talked about this at length with protected use ADUs, is that, your hands are somewhat tied. The state law has allowed protected use ADUs by right, and it really, you are very limited in what you can enforce on that first ADU. And so that's really the gist of the response letter, is that state law has pretty much told us that we can't do much here.
Pat?
But then, because we've been told, and evidence suggests that there are 2 apartments in the main building,
Yep.
do the residents have to complain before anything might commence about that?
Yes, I mean, technically, yes.
Technically, yes, but he has indicated that in the future, he's going to come back for a second ADU in that main dwelling, and then it will be up to the board's discretion whether or not to approve that. And if it's not approved, then it's up to the building department.
Is that the second floor?
I don't- Either this
It
first or
doesn't have
second
2
floor.
means of egress?
They would have to comply to building codes. And if that is not approved, then it would be an enforcement order. So,
Yeah, I just always try to pull something, you know? Really, it rankles me when somebody pulls something like this.
Did you
But
wanna add?
I understand how we can't do anything about it.
The very first one.
The very first
the very
one,
first
The
ADU.
second one will be a special permit.
the
and
converted
you have-
shed.
Right. Well, so, again, my understanding with this application, and it was part of the letter, that there was an indication that the shed perhaps was being converted to the ADU. My understanding is it's considered to be a cottage that's converted to the ADU. We might be talking about the very same structure.
Yeah.
But it's an accessory structure on the lot which is being converted. That protected use ADU is sort of beyond your control. But the special permit application for the second ADU on the property, that's when you have a lot more control over what it looks like.
Which is not in front of us right now.
Correct.
So, we're still in a public hearing. Should I take testimony?
Bob raised his hand.
If there's a member from the public, yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Ahmet.
Thanks. As you know, I represent the applicant, TGR Realty LLC. At the last hearing, information both about the applicant and about the property was provided to the board by neighbors, which mischaracterized both the applicant and the property for this by right use. And I was very concerned about those misrepresentations, and I submitted to the board earlier today an affidavit signed under the pains and penalties of perjury by Mr. Rackley, Tom Rackley, the manager of the LLC. And I'd like to read that affidavit to the board. It says, I, Thomas G. Rackley, now of Punta Gorda, Florida, certify under the pains and penalties of perjury as follows. My wife, Jeannie Rackley, and I were full-time residents of Falmouth, Massachusetts for close to 50 years. I moved to Falmouth in 1970. Jeannie and I purchased a house on Avalon Drive until we established our... I moved to Falmouth in 1970, and Jeannie and I purchased a house on Avalon Drive in 1972. And we lived in Falmouth until we established our residence in Florida several years ago. We raised our children in Falmouth and were gainfully employed. I've been a building contractor working on many buildings in Falmouth, and Jeannie worked for Falmouth National Bank and then for some 40 years as a lab manager at Falmouth Hospital. We spend a portion of the summer in Falmouth still, staying at my daughter's home in Falmouth. Now, I give you that information because it was represented that this property was owned by an out-of-state investor interested only in profit. In 1977, we bought 33 John Parker Road, 1977, initially taking title in Jeannie's name alone. For liability and estate planning purposes, title to the property is now held by TGR Realty LLC, a Massachusetts LLC which I manage. At the time of purchase in 1977 and continuously since then, the principal dwelling at 33 John Parker Road was and has been a duplex with separate apartments on the first and second floors. And there was a separate dwelling unit in the cottage behind the principal dwelling. The condition of the structures was such that all 3 apartments had clearly existed for many years. Town of Falmouth assessor's records state that the structures were built about 1870. Over the years, 1 or more of the apartments was often occupied by members of my family, including my parents and my sister, who still occupies one of the apartments. For the first 2 years of our ownership, that was in 1977, Jeannie and I lived in the rear cottage. One of the apartments is presently rented as affordable housing through the Falmouth Housing Authority, which requires inspections to assure compliance with health and building codes. I am in the process of arranging to rent another apartment through the Housing Authority. Improvements to the property are ongoing. A permit has been obtained to install a new Title V septic system, and Mr. Rackley executed this under seal earlier today. The whole purpose of this application is to allow improvements to the property. Presently, Mr. Rackley intends to improve the property, to have these apartments recognized as legal with the restrictions of ADUs, which is a good thing. No commercial rentals, no short-term rentals. And he's already begun those improvements. The representations that were made at the last hearing included that this particular structure, the rear cottage, had been converted of some recent years from a garage. That's simply not true. The assessor's records, which I submitted to the board earlier today, the old records show that it was, when those records were done in the 1960s, it was a residence, as of course was the principal dwelling. And those records from the assessor's department show that it was renovated as such in 1952. I just wanted to have the record be straight. None of this really much matters, should matter for for an ADU that's by right. But we aren't trying to pull anything over on anybody. We're trying to legalize things. It may well be that because of the age of these units are protected already. But that's hard to prove. And it seemed like the easiest thing to do was to come to the town under the new ADU regulations to legalize the units. First, we thought we would only do the one in the rear. We are going to submit a special permit under the present bylaw to legalize both as ADUs. And again, I think that's a good thing. And it's consistent with the use of the property for decades and decades and decades. And we'll probably submit that application in the next week. It's pretty much ready. And we hope the board will approve all 3 units on the property because, as I'll explain more when we have a special permit hearing, it's a good use for the property, it's a good use for the town. And the result will be improvement to the property, which there's been some reluctance to do because of the issues about the legality of the apartments. So I didn't have an opportunity to. Usually the staff is terrific in sending applicant's attorney a copy of correspondence they receive. I haven't looked at the affidavits, or rather the letters from abutters, but if they say what Melinda has indicated, which I'm sure they do, I think it sounds like the staff has properly answered the responses under the new regulations. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? And your name for the record, please?
I'm going to say it when I plug in here. Okay, thank you.
It should pop up.
I appreciate it, thank you. All right. Good evening. My name is Dawn Wagahopt. I live at next door to 33 John Parker Road, and I've lived there for just short of 34 years. And the entire time I have lived there, the subject property has in fact been a multifamily. The LLC that has owned the property since 2003 was previously owned by the parents of the LLC current owner. Again, that property has been exclusively used as a multifamily, including since 2003. The LLC owners have never lived at that property in 34 years. 33 John Parker Road is in a constant state of disrepair.
You have to, there's a tray below you. Mouse, yeah, there you go.
Thank you, thank you. Can you tell I don't do this for a living?
I think we're going to put a sign up there that says it's not touchscreen.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Everyone does it.
All right. In 2019, this is the current condition of the property. This is what I look out from my bedroom. The washer and dryer have been on that deck for over a year. In 2019, due to the conditions, I contacted the health department. When nothing was done, I sent a letter to the select board. In the spring of 2019, Selectman Doug Brown came to my property to view the deplorable conditions, but it indicated he could not do anything about them, and it was up to the health department. These are all pictures that were sent to the select board showing the conditions of the property. It took over 3 years for all of this debris to be removed. Shortly thereafter, in 2023, the property was listed for sale. Allowing an additional rental to an absentee landlord that does not care for the property is, in my view, irresponsible. The claim that he will have more money to improve the property is just plain incorrect. Absolutely no improvements have been made to the subject property in the entire time, that's 2003, that he's owned it, despite renting both units out at 33 John Parker Road. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Paul.
Mr. Ahmed, you had mentioned one of the main reasons for the accessory dwelling unit was to allow improvements to the property. Wouldn't the improvements be appropriate whether you have an accessory apartment or not?
Questions about the legality of the apartments have discouraged investment. I note that the pictures that were just shown you are several years old.
Except for the very first gray show.
Most of the conditions that are shown have been addressed, and the intention is to continue fixing up the property. There have been improvements being made in the last month at the property. Your decision is to allow an ADU. It's not to enforce any of the health codes or to clean up the property. And this is a by right use. But the whole intent here is to improve this property. And the conditions which were just shown, I can't justify those. I'm not trying to. What I'm trying to do is make it possible for the property to be sold to somebody who will take good care of it, or to encourage the present owner to do that by having legally recognized apartments. As I've said previously, given the age of these apartments and the proof we have of their existence for all these years, they may well be protected. But this is the best way to do it, and to come to the town and get the approvals that we're seeking. When I say approval, it's site plan review approval. It's a by right use. Thanks.
Any other questions, comments?
Well, I was just going to say, I have not seen these photos before. That's not an issue for the planning board. It's an issue for the town of Falmouth.
It's true that it's not these old pictures are not an issue for the planning board.
Is the subject property, the ADU, proposed ADU, is it habitable at this time, or is it need to be worked on?
It is habitable, and it is inhabited.
Okay.
And as I've said, one of the apartments is rented through the Housing Authority, which is required, as I'm sure you know, to do annual inspections. Mr. Rackley believes that the units meet all the legal requirements, and a condition of the motion that the staff has prepared for you is that there be an inspection by the health department.
Okay. Any other comments?
Nothing further.
All right.
Thank you.
We have a proposed motion here. This is for the accessory dwelling unit only. Oh, okay. One more comment. This gentleman.
Sorry. Aaron Perry, on behalf of Karen Murphy. I guess the only question that I have, I understand the state's ruling and how it has basically taken really everything that the bylaws have understood. Those are the laws. That's what it is. Question I guess I have to the board is with this becoming legal, and I understand that a special permit will be done for the second apartment in the main structure, not the detached ADU, which this is what this is about, is that we're essentially, this has been used as 3 units, multifamily, for many years. How does that weigh on the decision to now allow this while still allowing the other unit to be occupied, to be rented, and still used until that special permit is either accepted or denied?
Well, that's not what's in front of our board, so we can't make that determination.
Okay.
That could be determined maybe by the building commissioner. He's a zoning officer, if there's a concern. But we only have this one structure in front of us this evening. That's all that we can rule on.
Okay.
And what the applicant has suggested is they're going to come back in front of this board to try to do what's necessary to legalize the other structure that's been there for some time. That's all I can tell you. But it's not in front of us, so we don't have any impact on that right now.
Okay. Thank you.
But we will. Thank you. Any other comments? We have a positive motion here. Tom, you read that into the record, please. And we'll
Motion that the planning board votes to approve the application of TGR Realty LLC to formalize an existing detached one-bedroom accessory dwelling unit located at 33 John Parker Road under Section 240-12.2 Site Plan Review of the zoning bylaws, with the following findings and conditions. Findings. The applicant is seeking to formalize an existing detached accessory dwelling unit, ADU, located at 33 John Parker Road. The ADU is 699 square feet in size and contains one bedroom. The principal dwelling of the property is 2,139 square feet and contains 3 bedrooms, resulting in a total of 4 bedrooms on the property with the inclusion of the ADU. The ADU represents approximately 32.7% of the gross floor area of the principal dwelling. The site includes a paved driveway with parking area designated for the ADU, therefore complying with Section 240-9.1C and Section 240-14.1E of the zoning bylaw, respectively. The health department has indicated that the septic system was designed to accommodate 6 bedrooms. The detached accessory dwelling unit needs to have an independent water service from the water main to the dwelling. Page 2. One letter of opposition was received and numerous comments were made during the board's public meeting. However, the board finds that the applicant has adequately addressed the issues raised. The board finds that the information provided by the applicant conforms to all the requirements of Sections 240-12.2 240-9.1 and 240-12.2 of the zoning bylaw. Conditions, number 1, the plan shall be constructed as approved. Any changes shall be reviewed by the planning board to determine if a modification of this design is necessary. Number 2, construction activities shall not cause erosion to or sedimentation into the abutting properties and the town right-of-way. Number 3, any connections or alterations to public utilities would require permission from the appropriate town department. Number 4, the applicant shall contact the engineering division for address assignment for the new unit prior to applying for a building permit. Upon completion of construction, the applicant shall post the address for this building per section 99-1 of the town code. Number 5, the project shall meet all applicable standards set forth in the building code as determined by the building commissioner. Number 6, weekly/monthly rentals, so-called, in parentheses, summer rentals, are expressly prohibited. Number 7, pursuant to Section 240-12.2 of the zoning bylaw, this site plan review decision shall lapse 3 years from the date it is granted if, going to page 3 here, substantial use thereof has not sooner commenced except for good cause. The determination of good cause shall be made by the planning board. Number 8, the applicant shall contact the assessor's office for inspection of the ADU prior to certificate of occupancy. Lastly, number 9, the applicant shall obtain the required rental registration from the health department prior to renting the ADU.
Second.
Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Tom? You're opposed?
Yeah.
And I'm in support. So three
Three to
support.
one.
3 to 1.
Yep.
Thank you.
But is this one where we need 4, a majority of the board? It's not, just the majority of who's here.
No, well, you can't. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think, well, because Jim abstained and Charlotte and Bob are absent, the majority of the board would be 4. So, yeah, I would think that you would need a, well, no, I don't think you do, because this is, right, it's housing related, and it's a by right use, so I don't think that you need a majority vote. I think a 3-1 can carry. We're happy to consult with town council to make sure, but I believe that 3-1 carries.
Please.
Yeah, we'll do that, just to make sure.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda is Planning Department report.
Thank you.
Yeah, good evening.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to remind everybody that, well, I can't imagine that anyone's forgotten, but town meeting is coming up. In anticipation of town meeting, the precinct meeting schedule has been posted on the town's website. And so I just wanted to call it up for your attention. As you know, you've got 5 articles in the warrant for consideration. So this is the meeting schedule. As you can see it, precinct 1 and 2 will be on Thursday, November 6th. Precinct 3 will be on November 5th. 4 and 7 will be on November 12th, 5 and 6 on the 13th, and 8 and 9 the same night as 1 and 2 on the 6th of November. It's just a little earlier that evening, so we've got about an hour in between the two. So I just wanted to remind the board, Melinda and I will be attending each one of the precinct meetings to answer any questions about the zoning articles, but if Each one of you have an opportunity to attend these. We would very much like your support there as well.
Could you go through them again a little slower because I can't read that.
Oh, sure. How about I zoom in? Would that be better?
Well, that's much better.
Okay, sorry. Let me just get you centered here. Does that work? Yeah.
So November 6th,
November 6th, start in order. November 5th, then you've got November 6th.
okay, I know 6 comes after 5, but what happens on the 5th? I can't read that.
Precinct 3.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Where and when?
Okay, that's Gus Canny, and that is 7 PM.
Thank you.
Sure. And November 6th,
Yes,
we've got precinct 1 and 2. That's at the Civil Defense Room downstairs at Town Hall. That's at 7 PM.
thank you.
And an hour before that is precinct 8 and 9. And that's at the Cape Club in
The
Bellevue.
same day?
Yes, same day, just an hour before.
It'd be difficult to be in both places. So that's at 6 o'clock?
Yes. The nice thing about the warrant is that the zoning articles are at the end of the warrant. So as we finish up one meeting, we've got plenty of time to get to the next meeting.
Okay.
Because they won't get to it for a bit.
Thank
So
you.
then you've got the following week is November 12th. And that is precinct 4 and 7. That's at the East Falmouth Elementary School at 6:30. And then the following day, on the 13th of November, is precinct 5 and 6. That's at the West Falmouth Library, and that's at 7 PM.
Thank you.
So at your next meeting on November 4th, we will provide you another schedule. I just wanted to, bring it to your attention today. We'll provide you a written schedule.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
John,
Yes.
I understand the warrant booklets will be mailed this week. Is that true?
That's my understanding, yes. Yep. And if you're looking to get
I tried reading it in the Enterprise, and it was very difficult to read.
So you can go to the residence page on the town website, go to town meeting information. The warrant book is posted right here. First link. So if you wanted to, you could print it out yourself. I mean, you're going to get a mailed copy anyway, but here is the warrant itself. So it's already posted for everybody.
Paul, do you want me to send you a link?
Sorry?
Do you want me to send you a link to that?
No, I saw it on the line.
Okay.
I'd like to get the booklet, I can mark it up and refer to it when I go to the precinct meeting and
Yeah,
the town meeting, so I'd like to use the book itself.
yeah. So just as a reminder, the zoning articles are at the bottom, the last 5 articles. Other than that, we're just prepping for town meeting. So we're putting together John's presentation, and we'll have that ready for him for the evening.
Will he be ready for it?
Yes,
That's the
yes, he
question.
will. We've got plenty of practice time between now and then. So we're just putting together that presentation, getting ready for everything that we need to, be prepared for that. As a reminder, you all probably don't know the reminder, but we will be meeting before town meeting in our normal room. So there's nothing on the agenda thus far other than just discussing the warrant articles. But that's pretty much the planning department report.
Okay, thank
as
you.
of today.
You have a question?
Sure, Paul.
You know of any hot topics?
None that,
One.
go ahead.
I don't know what they are.
Oh, well, I mean, nothing that comes to the surface in terms of things that I haven't already talked about. So we're still working on a lot of the projects that that I've already, sort of went over with you in the past. One of those is the Shivricks Pond project. So we finalized the sign. We're now just looking to have it printed by a sign company, and then we're going to work with DPW to get it installed at the site itself. I need to meet on site with likely Mark Kasperzik and Jeremiah Pearson to figure out exactly where the best spot for the sign would be. So we've got that going on. We continue to work really hard. A lot of my time's been spent on the town RFP, so that town-owned land disposition that we had at town meeting, I think it was last year. With those RFPs are just about ready to go out the door. So we're just buttoning them up, putting the belt and suspenders on, and out they go. So that's been a lot of my focus lately. And then, of course, we're, going forward with a lot of other CPC applications that we have in the mix. So one of them is the Edward Marks building. So we met with the architect today to try to nail down the final design of that project. So we're moving that ahead, and Melinda and I are working on an RFP for the community play space. So there's a lot going on.
Is Edward Marks building inside or outside?
Exterior. All of it's exterior. So it'll be new siding, new corner boards, all new trim for the windows. They're going to replace a lot of the front portico structure, do a little bit of repair work to the foundation, replace both bulkheads, put up a little fence that hides the HVAC units on the side of the building. A lot of really nice envelope exterior work. So,
Any landscaping?
landscaping will come in the next phase. Because the next phase, they're going to be looking to do a little fence. There's going to be a walkway to the front door, all sorts of different things. But yeah, more to come.
All right. Any other questions? Yes, Paul?
Is the siting of the fire station, the new police station on the agenda for the town meeting?
The citing of it isn't, but there is a warrant article asking for design funds. The intent is, my understanding is the intent is to have a location to insert into that discussion, so that when, the select board is asking for the town meeting members to vote positively on design funds, they have an actual location. So as you may know, there's a meeting going on right now, this evening at the Lawrence School, totally related to identifying what that specific site's going to be so that they can put it into the discussion item for that warrant article. So as soon as we leave here, we're going to go right over to the Lawrence School. All of us.
Good.
Great.
Refreshments?
Maybe.
Tom?
Jed, the solar farm, will that project, will the planning board have an opportunity to vote on that again?
Yes, so in your future agenda items, you've got a special permit and site plan review for a proposed Wendy's restaurant. That will be on your November 4th meeting. And then your November 25th meeting, you will have the Cape Cod Country Club solar project coming through site plan review.
Thank you.
Those are some of your big items.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, Jim?
Nope.
Okay.
It's interesting on the police station siting. I know the group looked at many, many sites and came up with that site as a recommended site. And one of the issue is the wastewater treatment, which I believe can be handled. But the school is on the sewers. The fire station is supposed to be on sewers, and right in the middle is the Y, and that's going to be on septic.
Correct. Yep.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, the main reason is because it's outside the sewer service district. So it's not, the high school, as I understand it, is a sewer service area. And so therefore, anything, well, I should say this, we'll back up a little bit. In 2021, and I know this is a little bit outside the agenda, so I'll make it brief, but in 2021, the select board at the time adopted a policy that no other properties can come into the sewer area unless they're within the sewer service district. And so essentially everyone outside of that area cannot hook up to the sewer. Jim, you mentioned the flow neutral bylaw. That's for the existing sewer service area. So if there's redevelopment within our downtown where we have the existing sewer, it comes before the select board for a waiver of the flow neutral bylaw. But essentially what happened was the YMCA is just outside the sewer service area, and so therefore they weren't eligible to hook up to the sewer. It's been a long-standing issue, but it's related to the capacity of our discharge. We only have so much ability to discharge wastewater, and so therefore, the select board back in '21 adopted this policy that anyone who's outside that area doesn't get to connect. That's why the Y is outside, is not connected to the sewer.
All right, thank you.
Again, my understanding.
Any other questions?
That's not a good reason.
Okay,
And then putting the fire station, the police station right.
any committee reports?
I don't have any.
At this past CPC meeting, we conducted project interviews for the April 2026 town meeting, and all those projects will be going forward.
Good, thank you. I don't have any committee report myself. Any announcements?
Nope. None that I can think of.
We just had some.
Well, that's true.
Police station,
Yeah. I believe that meeting started at 6, so it might be over by now, but,
It's supposed to be over at 7:30.
okay. Yeah.
and general correspondence,
None received.
unreceived, from October 15th, October 28th.
Correct.
So our next meeting will be November 4th, and then the meeting after that will be November 25th.
Technically not correct. So you've got a November 4th meeting, but then you've also got town meeting. So it'd be November 4, November 17, and November 25th.
Okay, we stand corrected.
What's
3
November
meetings in
17th?
November.
I'm sorry?
What's
3
November
meetings in
17th?
November.
Yeah. The 17th of November is town meeting, so
Town
you meet
meeting.
beforehand. Yeah.
If necessary.
Yes.
And I move adjournment.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.